back at it again, and we have one from Warrior Poet Society. All right, make sure you guys go subscribe to his channel. This is the channel right here. Well, let me move my head. There we go. Now you guys can see it right there. Warrior Poet Society. Make sure you guys go over there and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell button as well, so you know when his videos drop. And make sure you do it for my channel too. You know what I mean? Y'all know what to do. But we are going to be checking out a video here on the Second Amendment and what people think about it out on the streets. Not legislators, but real folks like you and I out on the street. So what we're going to be checking out today. Like, share, comment. Like I said earlier, hit that subscribe button if you're new. And let's dive in.
What's happening, my friends? We are in downtown Atlanta looking to have some chats with people about guns and gun control. So here we go. We're asking people today about what they think about guns. What do you think about guns?
I'm kind of anti-gun, but I'm also about to buy my first house on my own, and I'm kind of thinking about getting one. I don't know.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
House is a big deal. What do you think about guns, man?
Well, to be quite honest with you, I'm part of the United States Navy, so that's something that we deal with. I think that responsibility is key.
Yeah.
I think that there needs to be more background checks.
There's a reason why the areas with the strictest gun control are usually the most dangerous, and the areas you want to stay away from.
What do you say?
There's a reason why the areas with the strictest gun control are usually the most dangerous, and the areas you want to stay away from.
There you go. Your shirt is awesome, by the way. Hey, what do you think about guns? Guns.
I like streets.
No, come on. I need a firm opinion here.
Maybe we need to check out a video touching on that as well. The statistics on, because that's been a recurring thing that I've heard in a lot of these different videos, is how, you know, places with less weapons that are very restrictive on weapons are more crime ridden than places that are pro weapon, which makes sense, you know, when you sit back and think about it, because obviously criminals don't want to be penetrated by any projectiles, I should say. So that makes sense. But if there's a video out there that kind of touches on that, let me know in the comments section. I want to check that out as well.
I believe that everybody should have the right to carry.
Yeah.
If that's what they want.
Very good.
You know?
All right. What do you think, man?
Hey, his shirt says it all. I mean, it's talking about a different topic, but protect this house. It's exactly what you need the Second Amendment for. Protect your house and your person, obviously. But yeah.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
If you're properly trained and you know how to use one and you know the safety procedures for it, it should be okay, because like if you know how to use it. But if you have never gone through training or like anything like that, I don't think you should have it. And there's like, I believe there's like certain weapons that like you don't need access to as like just like a civilian.
Anybody got time for a quick question? Brother? Yes?
What's the question? Oh, is this like the YouTube channel where like you're at the right and you make fun of the people on the left?
No, it's not a gotcha thing.
Okay, so
He said you're on the right and you make fun of people on the left. And it seems like he's still doing an interview. So, hey, I got to give him credit. But I don't know this guy's name. You guys can let me know in the comment section. But the guy with Warrior Poet Societies told him no. But we'll see.
honestly, if you want to own a small firearm and you're going to conceal it and you have the right to carry and you go through training, then
What does small mean? And what does he mean by training?
own a firearm. But I think that you shouldn't be able to own like an AR-15 or anything like that, anything military grade, because I think that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, we live in Mississippi, so I think that answers itself.
That means yay guns?
Yeah.
John. Oh, sorry. So we're not doing the
Still COVID.
Ah, gotcha. Very good. So we were asking folks about what they thought about guns. Do you have an opinion? Can you weigh in at all?
I think I know what he's going to say.
I believe in strict gun control.
We're talking to folks about firearms
I was right.
today. You got any strong opinion one way or the other?
I mean, I think firearms are okay, but I feel like they're being abused too much.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you get that opinion, or what do you kind of base that off?
Well, just off of things I've seen, things I've read, you know.
things like that.
We're asking people about guns today.
Guns.
What they think about them. Do you have a strong opinion one way or the other?
I do. I think they're important, but everything comes with a risk, you know?
Yeah.
It depends on who gets their hands on what. You know, we have people in religion and power that are doing god-awful, dangerous things, and we have people in religion that are doing wonderful things that is healing the community. Same thing with guns. You have people that are using guns to protect themselves and their family and using them guns to, you know, educate their children. You have people that are out here doing horrible things and being punks and really using their gun to exude power that they normally wouldn't have without it. Ooh, say that again, brother, please. Say that again. And really educate their children. You have people that are out here doing horrible things and being punks and really using their gun to exude power that they normally wouldn't have without it. I've touched on that in videos previously. And I've brought up the situation of, you know, when people get into what is a fair one-on-one fight, right? Obviously, you don't want people fighting, but if the case if the situation arises, then you got to do what you got to do, right? So one-on-one fight, the guy's losing, he pulls out. I feel like that's soft personally, especially if you were initiating the altercation. Now that you start losing, you pull out. I've seen situations like that, and I think that's a soft move. That's a soft move, and I'm glad he called that out, because that's definitely soft. Anyway, let's continue on.
And don't be a punk, guys.
Don't be a punk, guys, because you might run across a real G up out here and get your toes stepped on.
Exactly. Do y'all know what the Second Amendment is about? You can paraphrase.
Bear arms.
Yeah, it says the government shall not infringe the people's right to get access to guns.
It was written in an interesting time of our country versus what is currently. No one's going to come take over your home in an ambush of military arms like there may have been in the 1700s.
Got it. Now, First Amendment also is the right to free speech, and that's also very old. Do you think that one still stands?
Yes, but I also think there's some limit on that where your free speech shouldn't infringe or harm on somebody else. And they're
we don't have the right to assault people. You don't get to beat someone up.
You don't get to have hate speech or things that make other people.
Area. And how it affects everyone.
Yeah, because now if I define hate speech anything I don't like, you're not allowed to talk anymore. What do you think of that?
I know, it's
such hard questions.
It's a gray area.
It depends on the situation.
So one question.
See, that's why you don't police it. He just said it right there. It depends on the situation. That gets way too cloudy. Depends on the situation. Well, what if I don't like anything you have to say? So then you just have to be silent?
Question that we've been asking to everyone is about the Second Amendment. Do you know what the Second Amendment is?
Yeah, the right to bear arms.
Right, and it says the right to bear arms shall not be infringed upon by the government.
Right. And that was also made hundreds of years ago.
Do you think the First Amendment applies to like free speech applies to like computers and stuff, or is it just quill pens?
Good question. I'm not really sure how to answer that.
Because it was written a long time ago, and as you said, it changes.
Right.
I love how he keeps a straight face, but also asks a great question. And we all know why he's asking that question. It's because it flies in the face of what they just said, talking about how the Second Amendment was made hundreds of years ago. Well, you know, so kudos to this guy. Y'all let me know his name. But yeah, that's perfectly done. Keeping a straight face and just asking a serious question just to see how they answer, instead of just belittling them or laughing at them because it's idiotic. But getting them to answer the question is amazing, and he's doing it very well.
Well, I mean, I'm not limiting your use of quill pens.
But if you think about it,
doing computers,
free speech is free speech. You have that right, but it's also restricted. In some places, some areas, there's some places where you can't really speak your mind, say what you feel.
Where is it illegal to speak your mind and your ideas?
Like, how would I say this? Maybe like,
I think I know what
do you know what the Second Amendment is and what the purpose of it was for?
The purpose of the Second Amendment was a regulated militia. I think the Supreme Court misinterpreted it.
Now, do you remember the wordage?
Not exactly, but it's one sentence in two parts, and you cannot read one in the absence of the other.
He's right. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And the idea is
No. You stopped before the end of it.
Okay, you want to Google it real quick?
No, I'm not going to Google it.
Okay, well,
but
anyway.
he stopped it. But,
So
but he talked about a well-regulated militia in the very same sentence.
And one of the founders, Monroe, would say, who is the militia but every man, woman, and child, except for a few politicians, which is a very funny thing to say.
Okay.
So when you joined the Navy, you swore to defend the Constitution.
Correct.
The First, Second Amendments,
Correct.
all the other. What is the Second Amendment about? And do you remember anything, kind of paraphrase what it says?
The right to carry a firearm basically gives you that right, but still is a right within the laws that are already set and established. You know, when you think of laws such as
So is the Constitution based on already established laws, or is it the basis that everything else is built on?
Okay, well, personally, I think it was also based off of established laws, but the founding fathers also put in place that those laws can also be changed, you know, based off the course of, you know, people coming together and having that conversation.
Right. So the Second Amendment says the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, meaning you can't make any laws of the government to limit people's access to them. Because then all of a sudden, what if the government's the one controlling your access to firearms, and they don't want you to have firearms, and then they can make it so impossible that you can't get them, and now tyrannical government possibly is the doorkeepers of whether you can have guns. The original kind of founding is the founders noticed the general drift of countries toward tyranny, and if the government disarmed the people, they had no recourse if the government went real bad.
All right, look, we're going to get into a philosophical argument here, and I really don't have the time.
The government's tasked with deciding.
Say it with me, family. Say it with me. When the facts come out, they run. It happened once again. I don't have the time. I mean, he was there standing, having a great conversation before, but he doesn't have the time anymore, I guess. I don't know.
Who can have guns, but the Second Amendment's about not letting the government do that. You see the problem? What if the government gets tyrannical?
I think it's just a sticky situation.
It is sticky,
it's
you
very
know?
sticky. My son is a veteran, did some really awesome stuff. Now, I will say, if I ever thought that he was outside of himself mentally, I would probably caution him not to have a gun or not want him to have a gun like that.
But now it's a family issue, not a government issue.
True.
Because you're good. Let's let families do it, right?
Well,
what do you think?
It is a tough question. I think there needs to be some regulations about it and control. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves like in the old Western. And with all this trying to...
I don't think we'll ever go back to the old West. That's what police officers are for. Well, where they haven't been defunded, of course, you know. That's what they're for. They come in and they lock people up for life, throw away the key. All right?
I call it downplaying the police, defund them, and so on. Defunding ain't going to help any.
Got it.
They need to fund them in order for them to get better training. And that's one of the biggest issues that we're having. I'm a former police officer.
Right.
But again, you know, awesome. I feel that everybody has the right to bear arms.
Right.
You know, but it needs to be controlled.
Is it a greater problem that the government be the ones who control all the firearms? What if the government goes tyrannical, like in Venezuela?
Right, no,
they took away people's guns, and now the people can't do anything. What if our government went tyrannical, but they hold the keys to firearms?
But why is it that that's always the first thing that people go to, thinking that everything's just going to turn upside down, blah, blah, blah,
I think because it's a great example.
Because it's a historical certainty that all free nations drift toward tyranny. It's the cycle of the world. Every ancient society was conquered either from without or within. So, question, do you trust the federal government?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Let me ask you, do you trust the government? That's a tough question. What do you think? Do you trust the federal government?
Certain things, yes. Other things, no.
Would you trust them to be the only one with guns?
No.
No. So should they be the ones that regulate how easily or difficultly you can get them? Is difficultly a word? Difficultly? We'll go.
We'll use it. We'll
I
count
don't
it.
think so. I don't know. It's hard.
See, if the government can take away our guns and you don't trust the government to be the only ones having, you see the problem?
Yeah.
I don't think that any restrictions on it helps anything because, in my opinion, it's not the people getting them legally that are the problem.
Yeah.
When you see things on the news and the headlines, it's not people that are going and getting concealed carry that are the headlines and, unfortunately, the catastrophic events you see. So I don't think that more restrictions are going to help the mental health problem.
And there's
there.
a lot.
Beautiful young lady.
A lot
right
of
there.
propaganda.
There's a lot of
that's
things that can
covering
help.
that up.
There's a lot of things that can just help
Yeah.
to help people helping people before we get into legality of it.
No matter.
Wonderful. Most of these situations, at least as far as I'm aware, if you guys are aware of anything differently, please let me know in the comment section. As far as I'm aware of, especially like, for example, Chicago, which is the great example that a lot of people like to ignore, most of those situations are happening where people didn't go through the proper channels to have one. They have them illegally. These aren't just law-abiding, wonderful, great citizens. These are horrible, terrible, no good, very bad people. So you take them away from the good people and only the bad people have them, you in for a load of trouble.
Who the president is, I am gonna be a little wary of the federal government. I think that in general, like, the government is always something to be wary of. Like, yes, they're protecting us, and yes, they're trying their best, but you have to watch out and you have to protect yourself.
Right. What would
No matter what administration you're looking at.
Right.
No matter, yeah.
Agreed. What would you think if the government was the only people that were allowed to have guns? And then, what if they turned like tyrannical or fascist?
That is a scary fact, but I'm hoping that I say this loosely, that our democracy would be strong enough to prevent that, but I don't know. You never know. So
it's something to think on, though, right?
It is. It very well is.
Do you trust the government to be the only ones with guns? And that's the problem. What do you think?
Well, okay, that is a good question, but also I go back to my early statement stating about the Constitution. When the Founding Fathers came in and they created that, they also stated that, hey, these laws can be changed based off of what's going on. At that time, you got to keep in mind they was also making sure that other countries did not come in to, threaten the citizens at that time.
Other countries can still come in. Yeah, we have missiles and that sort of thing, but in times of actual war, you do have boots on the ground.
Talk about gun control.
Okay.
Do you think the government should have the power to keep you from having a gun if you wanted one?
The only reason why I'm saying no is because the government, just by the way that they've been treating us since the beginning of their governing time, I just don't find that they to be trustworthy, and they really to care about the people like that. It's more so about control, less about really a sense of community and being governed. I really just think it's just control. It's really not being governed. You're really not really being governed. You're really being an undetected mind control slave, in my opinion.
Dude rocks. I'm going to end it right there. Okay. This guy's awesome. Shaking hands. My favorite responses of the day.
Thank you.
Cool, man. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Hey, look for us, Warrior Poet Society.
Matter of fact, let me go ahead and follow you on
Warrior Poet.
right
We're
now.
on YouTube.
Warrior Poet.
He's doing it now. That's us.
Okay.
We're gaining a subscriber.
We're following.
Yes,
we're subscribed.
That's us.
And we're turning the post notification off every.
He knows it.
Every all posts. I appreciate it.
Brother.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
y'all.
Take it easy.
You.
Have a good one.
Baby Bokar just dropped my newest album. It's everywhere. Un Matin d'Iroir. BABYBOKOR. Thank you, man. Love you. Love.
Take it easy.
Ciao.
That's a cool dude. Like him.
That's a patriot right there for you, baby. That's the patriot right there for you. Yeah. One thing that I really did love about this gentleman here. Let me see if I can figure out his name. No, I don't think I see his name anywhere. John. I think that's his name. Or is it Evan? I see two names on here in the description of the video. Make sure you guys go and subscribe to his channel. Like I said earlier, I'll leave the original link in the description box below. But yeah, one thing that I loved about this video here is the fact that the way that he asked the questions was in a non-confrontational way. So it helped people to stay engaged in the conversation, because obviously we've seen videos, and this is no offense to those individuals, because I think those videos are great as well, but it's definitely good to see something like this. But we've seen videos where people almost laugh at individuals who make what a lot of us might perceive as idiotic statements, right? They laugh at them and like, wait, what? Why in the world would you do that? But the way that he was asking questions was in a non-confrontational way, so it drummed up even more conversation from each individuals who probably would have walked away. Like the gentleman, he said, hey, is this one of those YouTube things where, you're on the right and you laugh at people on the left? He could have easily said, yeah, kind of. But no, he told him no, and he stuck to his word. He didn't laugh at him. He didn't belittle him. He had an open and honest conversation and a dialogue. So that was definitely really, really cool to see in this video here. But I got another question, and this might be rude and mean a little bit, but was I the only person? You remember the guy who he was holding the coffee, and I don't know, John or whoever this gentleman was that made this video, the interviewer, he tried to shake the guy's hand, and the guy was like, nope. Beer bug still going around. Nope. Was I the only one that knew what he was going to say after that? Like, immediately when I saw that happen, I was like, oh yeah, I know what his answer is going to be. Am I wrong for that? Please tell me. Am I a terrible person for making that assumption? I mean, my assumption was right. I knew exactly what his thoughts on the Second Amendment were going to be. But please let me know. Maybe I have a distorted view of this whole situation. Anyway, let me know if y'all thought the same thing in the comment section, and if I shouldn't be thinking that way about individuals. All right. But yeah, as always, let me know what you thought about all of this in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, and of course, hit that subscribe button before you go. And what do you guys? I mean, I think I pretty much know most of your answers, but what do you think about the Second Amendment? Talk to me. Peace and love. I'm out.